Welcome to the Clock Tower. I'm Brandon here with Colton, and today we're looking at the Dark Sakura deck that we talked about earlier this week. That's the level 1 Sakura in the back row that can change servants on stage into the corrupted servants. That's by resting itself and then changing the servant to the other one by ditching a card from hand. That's paired alongside the Elia level 1 combo, the Maguro combo, looking for choose one servant character or master character. As long as I have 5 or less stock. Going into the Icy Tail Sakura, that's the level 3 Sakura that draw 2, ditch 1 on play, and the combo itself is a stock charge to pay for its combo-less Icy Tail. So effectively making that Icy Tail free with playing that card on stage and comboing.
I am running the Saber waifu build. 48 of the 50 cards are Saber. Saber's best girl. This is one of my favorite decks. It runs a lot of, pretty zeros. Like a bunch of PRs and stuff. Just because I like it. It's not optimized, but it's not meant to be. It does play the level 1 shot combo into the level 3 that has the cancel burns. It also does run the level 2 Excalibur combo as well. So, it functions, it works. But it's, pretty low-powered, decent in, waifu format, which this kind of is. And we talked about this when you were building the deck, you needed a lot more mill than you were getting, and frankly, the level 1 Elia combo just does it so well, and it also really allows you to play into the Elia Azusa, and also gives you more targets for the caster as well, because you can play the Elia Azusa, so, it's just... It as a package, it just made sense.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And realistically, the back row Sakura is really only effectively changing one lane a turn. So I have the openness to be able to play around with other things too, so it's just kind of playing into that additional mill, the pants trigger to be able to potentially get climaxes into hand over and over again.
Triggering the pants, like you said, level 1 combo, it makes sense to try to loop that combo. I basically don't get to loop my combo because I have no salvage access, so once I get one combo turn done, it's I'm never seeing these level 1 cards again, so I need to max out and combo as much as I can here, so I'm able to get the triple, which is not a guarantee in this deck, because you kind of need to draw into a lot of your pieces, but it works out. Take your luck where you can get it.
Yeah, it does. And here I am I have a lot of different options here, right? So because I am at level 1, I am able to combo here. I have 1 combo in hand, 2 are in clock, so I only have access to it max 2. But I also have the Kirei here, right? That it can also get big, so I have potentially big pieces on board.
When you were initially building this, you wanted to build essentially Kirei Dark Sakura, almost like a villains deck kind of a thing. And you still see a lot of the Kirei stuff in this. This is very much a thematic kind of a list, more than it is a practical one. But it's cool. And these are cards that we don't see very often. The last time I saw these cards was literally when we did the Holy Grail War. You had your Kirei list built. And it was fun, but the Kirei cards aren't super great, but they are interesting. And Fate is a deck that's just full of these cards. We're never going to stop building Fate. Fate's the one deck that just will never die. But the other thing I want to point out with this deck, the card that you've really sold me on is the one that's in your hand right now. It's that caster. It's a Shibakai, so it pumps power. But also, when it dies, when it gets reversed, you can reveal the top card of your deck. If it's a 0, you +1. That's really good value on a card that's both a servant and a master. That card is one of the most underrated cards in the entire, Fate title, I think. I've seen you play this card so many times, especially in the last several months as you've been working on, you did your budget Fate deck a while back, you've been doing much more Fate, and you've been testing it. So I've seen that card more and more, and you've really sold me on that card. I think it's really good.
Yeah, it's a really interesting way of coin flip kind of idea, right? Instead of popping itself back to hand, it could potentially add a different 0. So being able to add different kind of utility pieces back into hand, I think has actually been a really fun way of playing the game, especially because it can add the Ilia Azusa to be able to potentially use that to then turn around and mill the deck even more. I think it's really fun with that. I think, especially with this deck, just being able to plus in any kind of capacity really is necessary for this deck to be able to function and do well, just because you're using so much hand. Because I'm playing the Kyrie package, realistically, right? The Kyrie package effectively is like speeding the game along and losing hand along the way. I was able to, on the previous turn, be able to go back and get the Berserker on field through the Kyrie, being able to kind of essentially level myself into 2. Kind of do the kind of standby method kind of idea, where you're pushing myself up a level to be able to bring the bigger bodies on board ahead of time to try to keep save board. In this case, being able to spam the bodies over and over again here with the Sakura, who's about to just turn this other Berserker into a second copy of a Berserker. Just so that way I have more, the bigger body, more soul coming at you kind of idea.
Yeah, no, that makes sense. And I just removed one of your salvage CXs from the game, essentially, with the level 2 Saber, which combos with the same CX as the level 3 Saber. I have access to it because I have the Shiro that lets me on play just pay one, go get it. So if I have the stock, and I don't usually get to double Saber in this list just because this list is not particularly efficient, but usually I can't quite get to double Saber, but I do have enough to potentially use the Excalibur and then go back with the Shiro and get it so that I can have a lane of Saber combo into a deck that's missing another climax. I saw you trigger Pants, so I know you have the salvage in hand.
Yeah.
So, like, I know I'm not denying combo here, but I do know that next deck is going to be, you know, just that much more decompressed for me to swing into. And I've got 5 stock, which is enough for me to both get the Excalibur off the Shiro and play a Saber.
So I do the blind stock. I just put it in resolution because it's going right back into waiting room. Like, normally it would be blind stocked, but it's more efficient here with Weiss fight to just put in resolution. But you do kind of cancel out here, but I do push you into 3, which is kind of like the downside of that kind of play. Like, I was more curious to see how far I could push you realistically, because, like, as much as, you're not going to be able to double Saber, you're barely going to be able to put a single Saber in here, right? Like, you don't have a lot of the resources you normally would here.
You have to make the choice. Either you are going to... If you play the 2-1 combo, you have no chance to double Saber, and you might be pushing it a little bit to single. Like, because it does take an extra, stock to play the card, stock to use the combo, and ditch another card from hand. Like, that's, that's a problem. Because resources are not... Again, this combo's not even that resource intensive, really, I don't think. It's just that the list I'm playing is inefficient because I'm literally playing Saber Waifu. So, like, I don't have, I don't have a ton of great efficiency pieces here. I've got, like, a Drop Searcher and a decent combo and a Brainstormer, and that's kind of it. And a Takitsubo. So, like, not super efficient, kind of no matter how you slice it. I did choose to bounce your middle character, though, the Sakura, back to your hand, because
the Berserker,
think... Yeah, I think I can kill you. Yeah, the Berserker, sorry. The Berserker. Because I think I can kill you here, and... You have 4 stock, like, you could play it back, but it's not like it has an on-play that I care about.
Well, and realistically, I think here, I probably should have sent that to waiting room, if I recall, because I'm pretty sure I probably saved that one off of the effect where after the end of my turn, on the second turn with it, it would go to waiting room. Pretty sure I probably did that, so either way, it's off the field, ready to go.
Yep. So I actually get to, because the shot triggers, I get to choose whether to resolve the shot or the burn 3 first, the double burn 3s. I don't think it matters here. If you were at 3-2, it would matter, because then I could potentially try to side with the other Saber that I have down, depending on if you were at 3-6 to try to put you to 1. But here it's either going to, like, win or not, and if I'm 2 damage away, I need to swing normally. So I just swing for 3 and it does stick. That's where, like, getting the extra climax out of the deck with the Excalibur combo is really nice. because then your vanilla swings just stick more.
Yeah.
And again, this is a waifu deck, right? Like, I play this deck because Saber's my favorite girl. That's why I have this deck. I've got some shinies in it. Like, that's why I own this deck and play it. That's why the list is the way that it is. So it's definitely not optimized, but it's not really meant to be. But yeah, and honestly, your deck also isn't, like, that optimized either. Like, if it were super optimized, I don't think you'd be playing the Kirei package, but you want to play the Kirei Dark Sakura package. You want to put those packages into a list. And that's one of the things that I think Fate really offers, is the ability to do a lot of different stuff because there are enough cards in the set. It's unfortunate that Fate doesn't have, like, the good support, and that a lot of, like, the newer stuff in Fate, like the last set, didn't really push Fate into a more competitive space. Like, even after that set came out, people were still really mostly playing 8-bar. So, like, Fate hasn't been relevant in a minute, which is a shame. But it is still a fun set to tinker around with, and most of it is Lost Format legal. Just saying.
That's fair.
We're going to be doing more stuff with Lost Format this winter, so be on the lookout for that. But in any case, happy Thanksgiving.
Yeah.
It's Thanksgiving when this comes out. Have a super good holiday. I hope that you have fun with your family or your friends, or not, depending on where you go. I don't tell you I'm not gonna tell you what to do. Hopefully you have fun. Hopefully the Lions win, and we'll see you on Tuesday for a clock talk, and then probably 5 cards 5 minutes the following Thursday. And then Brandon will have a deck tech the next week, and in 2 weeks, more gameplay. Sound good?
Sounds like a plan.
All right. Also, Christmas charity live stream is coming up. We're going to have a date for that very, very soon. We're literally going to talk about it as soon as we're done recording. We're going to have something out next week, question mark?
Probably as part of the clock talk.
Yeah, probably. So we will be talking about that soon. In the meantime, thank you for joining us. Please like, share, comment, and subscribe, and have a good one.
We'll see you then.